Tracking our record October heat, at least one more day with a weather impact alert day ahead. I'm ABC 10 Chief Meteorologist Monica Woods. Now, 2024 has certainly been one to remember. It's feeling like the summer that just won't end. So far, we've had 49 days of 100-plus degree temperatures, a record setter. Also a record setter, 105-plus degree days at 16. The average is 6. And then for 110-plus degree days, we've had 5. The average that we see is 1 day. So again, this one going down in the record books for all sorts of reasons. October has been no different. You can see we've had the hottest temperatures in the month of October. For downtown Sacramento, a high of 103 on October 3rd. That's going to be the hottest October day on record. Stockton at 105, 2 days, October 2nd and 3rd. Hottest October day on record. And also for Modesto, 104, both October 2nd and 3rd. It's going to be an all-time hottest October temperature for many locations throughout Northern California. Highs for our Sunday were a little bit cooler, but still quite toasty in the 100s throughout much of the valley. For Sacramento, Stockton, and Modesto, all record setters for today. 90s in the foothills. Again, not feeling like Apple Hill time right now. Near 80 up top for the Sierra. Fairfield, high of 103, and San Francisco just shy of reaching 100 at 98 as we're wrapping up this first weekend of October. Our weather impact alert headlines when through Monday will continue with that alert. Near record temperatures, the impact and the need to practice heat safety once again with these near record highs. Our rundown of record highs, like I said, for today. Downtown Sacramento, a little shy. That record high, 102. We got to 99 this afternoon. Sacramento Executive, Stockton, both at 100 record setters. Modesto at 99. Also breaking the record high of 97 degrees. Our heat advisory through the valley, well, that will continue through tomorrow evening throughout the entire valley and towards the coast. We have our excessive heat warning in play through 11 o'clock tonight for the Bay Area, but that expires at least for tonight, indicating that there's a little shift in our weather pattern, starting to draw in a bit of that cooler Pacific air. Showers and thunderstorms today throughout parts of the Sierra. Those are quieting down as we head into this evening. We'll see a reappearance potentially of some showers a little bit deeper into our forecast. But in the meantime, we're going to track that gradual cooling trend this week as our high pressure ridge starts to weaken. A low moves in and we shift that storm track, starting to pull in that breeze. And that's really the key factor here. When will that southwest wind kick up? Because when it does, it starts to change the weather pattern, certainly along that I-80 line, and then really starting to spread that cooler air north and south. Monday evening, still have that northwest wind. That's a dry and warming wind, and it keeps us on the warm side even for overnight temperatures. But then on Tuesday into Wednesday, that's when we start to see more of that southwest flow coming in, and we'll start to cool our temperatures out of the 100s and into the 80s. Here's a look at our October rundown, and you can see 103 there. Last Thursday was the not only the all-time record high temperature for the month of October. It's also going to be a daily record high there. And then we dropped into the 90s, but was awfully close to 100. So we've had every day of the start of October starting off with near triple-digit heat. Not quite a record setter for the most ever 100-degree days. That's 5. Set back in 1980, but we are going to tie, obviously, that 1987 record at 4 days. Now, we could still tie that 1980 record for tomorrow, given that tomorrow's forecast high is right around 100. Hottest October day, we already talked about that, 103. That was set back on October 3rd, that Thursday. And the latest that we've seen a 100-plus degree day in October is October 10th. That record set back in 1991. Now, the good news is that we are forecasting cooler temperatures ahead. So we're going to knock down our fire weather. High heat stays in place at least through tomorrow. Our records for tomorrow are going to be really close to breaking these for downtown Sacramento, Sacramento Executive, Stockton, and Modesto. Here you can see the record that is in place. There's the forecast high. All down the valley, we're going to be tracking the potential for record heat. Heat risk forecast for tomorrow. We still have some pockets of major and extreme heat risk, particularly on either the east and west sides of the valley, but we're still in that moderate heat risk zone throughout the valley with that one more day of our heat advisory in place. A low pressure system really helping to modify that high pressure ridge, so it's not in full effect towards the middle and end of the work week. This is going to be an interesting feature to follow, that low pressure system that's going to be parked off the coast here on Thursday. It's certainly going to bring us more cloud cover and also the initiation of that onshore flow, but also the potential to bring some Sierra showers by Friday and Saturday. Now, that's still a little far out, but it's something we're going to be watching to see if indeed we finally get some wetting rain in here. If nothing else, like I said, we're going to get that departure from normal coming back in play. We're going to be a little bit closer to where we should be this time of year. Some areas a little bit below normal. All in all, more fall-like feel in the forecast, but we're right back to a very likely warmer setup. That being said, that just means that our temperatures that are normally in the low 80s look like we're going to be a little bit warmer by the beginning of the next work week as well. So this work week, we're going to see a cooling trend, and then we start to bring things up a little bit again for the longer range forecast. Likely wetter setup is going to be in place throughout the Pacific Northwest and likely drier throughout much of the West, which is kind of unfortunate because we still have a pretty high fire danger this time of year. In terms of our temperature benchmarks, so when is the last day that we start seeing some of this heat? We are so way past that. September 15th is our average last 100-degree day. We already talked about the latest being October 10th. September 27th is the average last 95-degree day. The latest that we've seen that is October 14th. I'm thinking that is actually going to stay in place because I'm not seeing 90s necessarily in the forecast, but I am seeing high 80s in the extended outlook. And then October 7th is the average last 90-degree day. But the latest that we've seen a 90-degree temperature is October 27th. And again, this is for downtown Sacramento. When we look at the big range 90-day climate outlook, likely warmer setup is in place here for the next 90 days and a likely drier as well throughout Southern California, likely wetter throughout the Pacific Northwest. So it's very potentially in line with that La Nina outlook that we're looking at brewing, especially into the winter months. That would very much favor that type of pattern. Highs in the 70s tomorrow for the Sierra. We're in the 80s and 90s throughout much of the foothills, but a couple of 100s still kind of popping up there into our Monday. 70s along the coast, nearly a 20-degree drop in temperatures for some places along the immediate coastline. Head inland, we're still in the 90s to right around the low 100s tomorrow afternoon. Across the Central Valley, we'll see highs in the 100s, a couple of 90s in there, but when you consider that we're starting off at 71 degrees for Folsom, 99 doesn't seem like much of a drop in temperatures there. 72 tomorrow morning for El Dorado Hills, so not much of a consolation when you start off so warm, given that we're not in the 100s for the afternoon. In the mountain areas, we'll track the cloud cover as well as that chance of showers coming into play later this week. The foothills drops out of the 90s and into the low 80s. By Friday for the coast, big drop in temperatures as well. We're talking highs upper 60s, low 70s by the time we get to the end of the work week. So again, we've got that one more day of our weather impact alert in play for Monday with highs right around 100. It'll be a very slow cooling trend. Once we kick up that southwest wind, we'll see temperatures drop into the 80s, and we're talking low 80s by the time we get to that Friday forecast. We're going to stay in the 80s, a little bit warmer than average by early next week. So again, that's why the Climate Prediction Center is saying warmer than average likely in the forecast, but that doesn't mean triple-digit heat in the forecast. It'll be a nice break from the 100 certainly, so I think we'll take those mid to upper 80s. Well, you can catch extended forecasts just like this on our ABC10 Plus streaming app. We hope that you download that. It's free on Apple TV, Roku, Fire TV, and many of your television sets will also have that already preloaded available for you to download there. We also have our Emmy-winning weather special, The Future of California's Water. Check it out.